Well, hey everybody.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi there.
Hello.
Brandy he's looking a little blurry. He's glitching in and out there.
Yeah, it's doing it again on me. I don't know what's going on with it this time.
Yeah,
I'm
he's
trying
stuck
to
in the
stay
Matrix.
forward. Go back here.
There's something definitely happening. That's all right.
It's spirit people trying to talk to me.
That's
It's
right. That's
ghosts.
right.
Yeah.
Well, hey everybody. I see everybody out there.
Hey.
Welcome. Happy Hump Day. Can you believe we've only
Uh,
got 14 days till Christmas? 14 days.
Shush.
I got
I
shopping
know.
to do. Don't remind me.
I I mean everything's a little tight this year, and I get it for a lot of people, especially myself. I don't,
hmm
everybody in my life is not getting a whole lot. They may get a hug.
Mm.
They
Yeah.
may get a hug. Here you go. That's what you're gonna get for
I can
Christmas.
hear your daughter right now looking at you going, you can keep that. I don't need that.
No, she's got stuff. She's got stuff. Matter of fact, I picked up one of her gifts today after work, and so I told her that today, so she was pretty happy about it. And I
Well,
explained
that's
to
good.
her, honey, not every year is going to be bigger and better than the last year. I said,
Mm.
unfortunately, people go through hard times, and there's a lot of stuff going on, and unfortunately, this year is one for us. And she totally understands. I got to love that kid.
Mm.
Yep.
So, I mean, at least she realizes that Christmas is not all about gifts. It's about love and family and stuff.
hmm
And she goes, before I told her I got her anything, she's like, well, did I get a little something? A little something? I said, absolutely.
No,
Absolutely.
not
Mm.
one bit. See, I'd have done that to
I'm
my
just
daughter.
not
So
out there spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars because she knows I don't have it. But I mean, it's cute. It's cute. And I mean, that is the true meaning of Christmas. It's just
yeah, yeah.
family and being together and being happy and all of that good stuff. So
Yep.
hmm
gotta love the kids. Gotta love the kids. But anyway, so how was everybody's day?
Randy?
I ain't doing it. I already gave you my spill earlier.
Mm.
I spent 2 hours trying to get home. So yeah, no, I'm not. I don't want to talk about it.
Donnie, how'd it go today?
Just a busy day at work. Rushed home as quickly as I could to get some slides and illustrations prepared for tonight's show.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty
And
excited
because
about
I'm
this.
very excited about tonight's show.
And I did set the
And yeah,
show up
I'm
before while I was at work today. I set it up so it was ready to go.
yeah, I saw that.
Well, I'm there's a lot about this that is mysterious.
Mm-hmm.
It is very mysterious, and I can't put my finger on it, but there's something really crazy about the whole Atlanta story and where it actually is. And so that's why, when you said that, Donnie, you wanted to do a show on Atlantis, I was very
Yep.
excited. I'm like, well, heck yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Because we are the three of us. We are in the business of woo. That is the type of genre we are in, that we're involved in. That's what our shows are revolve around. Your shows and mine. Mine not
Right?
always. Sometimes I just do wrestling or K-pop. But we are all three in the business of woo, right?
Absolutely.
So
Yes.
one of the things I've been exploring is the different degrees of woo. The three of us, we discussed this on my show previously when we talked about the Arcturians. We were talking
Yes.
about levels of woo. And
Right.
on that show, for those of you who haven't seen it, Don Cho Says Stuff, Your Friendly Neighborhood Arcturians. One of my favorite episodes, personally, by the way. We established that, you guys, Brandy and Randy, you guys are mid to low level woo, right? We've determined, right?
I'm about mid-level. I'm about mid-level.
Low level.
Yeah, because there's a lot of things that maybe it's not that I don't believe. It's just I can't
Yeah.
wrap my head around how it could happen.
Yeah.
And you never know. As weird things that have happened,
Mm-hmm.
it can be twisted
On
very easily.
a scale of
Very
1 to
easily.
10, you would put yourself at maybe like a 4,
No, I'd put myself at about a 6.
a 6. Okay. All right.
Yeah, because I've seen some really strange stuff.
Yeah.
So I have to open my eyes a little more. You know what I mean?
Yeah. None of us are zeros here. Let's keep that
No.
clear. Because a zero would be like a Neil deGrasse Tyson, a straight up alien denier.
Yeah. Total
Yeah.
skeptic.
Yeah, I hate that guy. Yeah, stupid Neil deGrasse Tyson. Deny my UAPs.
Hey,
Randy.
You be nice to Neil deGrasse Tyson. He is your evil overlord.
Yeah, he did. He did educate me a lot about Pluto, about how it's not a planet. So
yeah, me and him are gonna still have a fist fight over that one.
Yeah. Randy, on a scale of 1 to 10, where do you put yourself on the woo scale?
2 to 3 max.
2 to 3. Okay, and for the folks in the chat room right now, all y'alls, put a number in the chat right now. What level on a 10-point scale of woo do you put yourself at? Would you consider? All right,
Shelley
because on the show that we did, we talked about maximum woo. We went to 10. We went to a Spinal Tap 11, talking about the Law of One, the Pleiadians, the Arcturians, and one of the topics that I find personally that lands in the higher spectrums of woo is Atlantis. Okay, because
yes, absolutely,
because Edgar Casey,
mm-hmm.
one of the second most powerful psychic to ever live. He talked about Atlantis. Yeah,
self-proclaimed, but yes. Yeah. I've got a thing with aliens and Atlantis. I'm not sure they're all that far apart.
Yeah, there are people who talk about that. We'll be talking about more on that. But yeah, Atlantis, baby, maximum woo. Edgar Casey spends a lot of time talking about it. Oh, he had some ridiculous theories about it. The Law of One that we mentioned earlier, the channeling, people who channel interdimensional beings and get messages from the other side of the universe. They talk a lot about Atlantis. I have several books here that I've been studying, like Seth Speaks. This one. Oh, this is a good one.
Seth?
If you like, Seth is he's the spirit of a human, but he's like a more evolved soul. So he didn't incarnate this time, and he was being channeled.
Well, I'm going to say, I'm sorry I asked.
Okay, interesting.
So
we talked about this one during the Arcturians, though. So
yeah. Well, not Seth, but Ra, but all of those. So I've decided, because I've read up on those, because I like playing with maximum woo. So I wanted to go there because, again, the three of us, we go on all these shows, we talk about supernatural, paranormal topics, but it's funny how Atlantis rarely ever gets brought up. It's the cryptid of countries.
Well, technically, it was a continent, according to what was stated, and the biggest issue I think is why people don't do it, because they don't have enough. There's no way to figure out any kind of evidence. It's all legend and folklore. It's all passed down via word of mouth. There's nothing written, other than what you have that was out there on the internet. Somebody wrote it down themselves, but it came from somewhere else. Nobody has anything written as to what actually these people were. Where was this place at? What happened? All we know is, or all we are told is, it was a thriving metropolis-like continent / city. I don't know why they always call it a continent, because I'm with you. I think it's probably more along the lines of a city more than anything else.
Yeah,
but it's a thriving, economy and everything that just disappeared.
Yeah.
Right. And yes, Plato did write about it. I'll be sharing some of his quotes later.
Yeah. So if Plato wrote about it, now you can think about how far back it had to have been.
Right. Well, he apparently learned it from the Egyptians.
Yeah.
Who apparently kept the records of it, and who were claimed by many in the esoteric woo world, is claimed that the ancient Egyptians and the ancient Mayans were actually the descendants of the original Atlantean refugees who escaped the catastrophe of the sinking of their lands.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Or did they sink?
Or did they sink? There's some people in the deep UFO world. Jason was telling me about this because I asked him like what his thoughts on Atlantis were. And they've been talking about the Schaefer mysteries. This is like Dr. Dean's work about how he was studying how they wrote about Atlantis back in the early 20th century. And there were theories about how the people of Atlantis, when they sunk under the ocean, they kept going down into the inner earth, the hollow earth, and they became hollow earth inhabitants. And that is where a lot of our extraterrestrial creatures and beings actually originate from. There are people like Billy Carson. Do you know who he is?
I don't think so. No.
He's like an esoteric thinker, and basically he's the Black Giorgio Tsoukalos. You'll see him on Gaia a lot, like Gaia TV. I'm a subscriber to that.
Like a super deep thinker,
super deep. Always got that nice suit on. And he's talking about the esoterical stuff. He's talking about how he believes that the original inhabitants of Atlantis, when they sank, a lot of them survived in the inner earth and they became the Anunnaki. Brandi, what do you think about all that? The Anunnaki.
Well, you know what? I'll have to ask Dr. Dean Bertram at the conference next 19th and 20th of September of next year. And ask him what he thinks.
Make sure you write that down.
I'll have to ask him what he thinks about that. I think there is some type of connection about why the whole country, continent, whatever, is gone, just completely gone, and there are no remnants, they say, that can be found. But then again, if you're looking into evidence and videos and things like that, they're saying they're finding things under the water, such as statues, pottery, just all kinds of things, jewelry, just things in the water that they're just finding washing up after all of this time.
Yeah.
I mean, is it really gone, or was it just moved? That's what I want to know.
Are you guys familiar with the Younger Dryas theory, like Graham Hancock's work?
No.
I'm a big fan of his. No. So he's an ancient civilizations guy. He's not quite as woo as like a Giorgio Tsoukalos talking about ancient aliens, but his main thesis is that humanity and ancient civilizations were way more advanced than we give him credit for, and way older than we give him credit for. But he doesn't go quite as far as like Anunnaki stuff. He leaves that all up in the air. But he talks about a lot of his works revolves around the Younger Dryas event, where about 12,000 years ago, 11,500 years ago, there was a major cataclysmic event where prior to that time, North America was essentially covered by like mile-high glaciers, like most of North America, right? There was a major cataclysmic event. They believed that it was due to some kind of asteroid or meteor landing on Earth and causing this great sudden melt that caused the flooding and all these the ocean level rose as a result of this event. This was the time when like woolly mammoths were like wiped out, and they think it was like all at once. A lot of people point to this event as the biblical flooding event that they talk about in the book of Noah, or Genesis, really, not Noah, but the story of Noah.
Right.
And they also believe that same event where Noah built the ark was the same event where Atlantis sank. And the timing, the 11,500 years ago or 10,000 something BC, is often cited by people like Edgar Cayce and Ra and Seth as that's the time when Atlantis fell.
Sounds as good as anything I've ever heard, really.
Yeah, honestly, I can't argue against it because I have no basis to argue against it. So
let me read you guys a few quotes that I prepared. Now, this is a bit wordy, so I just put it in a slide, and I'm just going to read what the actual thinkers actually wrote. Okay. The first one is the mainstream, accepted by historians, the words of Plato. So, Let me full screen this on my end. Oh wait, no, there's all these little buttons that are blocking words. Stupid StreamYard UI. God. Okay. Anyway,
Looks good
but
on
at
my
a
end.
but at a later time occurred portentous earthquakes and floods, and one grievous day and night befell them when the whole body of your warriors. He's talking about the time when like Atlantis went to war with like ancient Greece, but ancient Greece meaning like occupied by like the ancient gods and stuff. Body of your warriors was swallowed up by the earth, and the island of Atlantis in like manner was swallowed up by the sea and vanished. And here, all right, this one should have been first actually. Whoops. For the ocean, there was at the time navigable, for in front of the, what does that say?
I don't know.
Stupid paranormal show and tell logo. You blocking my view.
There you go.
In front of the mouth, which you Greeks call, as you say, the pillars of Hercules. The pillars of Heracles, he's actually referring to as the Strait of Gibraltar.
Yeah.
Okay.
There lay an island which was larger than Libya and Asia together. Not Asia like the Asia that we know. Their understanding of it basically is Asia Minor. That's what the ancient Greeks understood as Asia. They didn't know what China was. Which was larger than Libya and Asia together, and it was possible for the travelers of that time to cross from it to the other islands, and from the islands to the whole of the continent, over against them, which encompasses that veritable ocean. So he's talking about how he learned about the existence of Atlantis back when he was studying in Alexandria, Greece, or Egypt, not Greece, but Alexandria was kind of like the Harvard of the ancient world. So all the great thinkers and philosophers would spend time like doing a study abroad program essentially. And they would get all the stuff from Egyptian knowledge, bring it back. And they believed that's how he found out about Atlantis.
Well, it seems to me that a lot of theories are saying that Atlantis is located near the Rock of Gibraltar.
Right.
So, I mean, it makes sense of what he's saying, and it's very mainstream. It's not really woo woo as we're calling it. It's not really woo. It's kind of like this is the
that's the mainstream
explanation of what happened.
Yeah,
this is the best we had at the time. That didn't sound so outlandish. It didn't make sense. So I could see why they went with what Plato had said. Yes,
Plato was like a woo 0.5.
Well, now here's the question I got. From what you read there and the way you were talking about it, the way you're portraying what he's saying about the Atlanteans or whatever, they were actually at war with the Titans, the fathers of the gods, right?
Yeah, well, according to Greek legend, Atlantis was territory of Poseidon, so it was kind of like a proxy state when the gods went to war with one another.
Gotcha. Okay, so we're Titan.
When that happened, of course, Atlantis would be involved. Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay. Right. Got it. Now we're getting into Aquaman roles now. Come on now.
Oh, come on, Randy. You know Aquaman isn't real. We're talking about real stuff here, Randy. God.
Hey.
Stop talking about fictional things.
Don't tell Jason Momoa that.
Don't tell Jason Momoa.
Yeah, we're talking about nonfiction here, baby. Aquaman, that's all imaginary.
I'm going to go to the Submariner next.
All right, here's another one here.
Hang on.
All right, Randy, get rid of it. Get rid of it. There. Yeah.
Okay, another one. So for all that we have here, lying within the mouth of which we speak is evidently a haven having a narrow entrance. But that yonder is a real ocean, and the land surrounding it may most rightly be called in the fullest and truest sense a continent. Now, in this island of Atlantis, there existed a confederation of kings of great and marvelous power, which held sway over all the island and over many other islands, also in parts of the continent. So it was a loose confederation.
Did that kind of mean like they were closer to the gods? I mean, because that's what it sounds like. They're more powerful. They hold more sway in the world. Or do you think that... I don't know exactly what he's trying to say there.
I think what he's trying to say when he mentions like the other continents, and the loose confederation of kings. I'm thinking that Atlantis was not one island. I think it was more of like an ocean spanning empire, or where the original island of Atlantis that he talks about would be the capital, but that's not the
Okay.
society or civilization itself. I think it was world expanding, kind of like the British Empire, how, Britain was just a series of islands, but they had huge swaths of territory all throughout the world, right? I'm thinking that's how he's describing Atlantis was. It was a world-spanning empire.
Okay.
Yeah, that would make
So
sense.
we've got to think bigger. We got to think bigger. Think outside this little box, because when they say island, we're thinking small.
Yeah, I think a lot of people picture
Islands, like the Hawaiian Islands, are not very big at all. So we've got to think much larger. Okay.
Right.
So, like Randy said, like a whole continent.
Yeah.
Type of.
So we're talking about an actual empire.
Larger.
Yeah, an empire.
Yeah. We're talking about an actual empire, which would span across God knows how much. Then.
Okay. So that's making more sense to me, because it's kind of like they keep saying the island, and it's like I keep thinking this little bitty place, and the water rose and swallowed it. I get that point, but that means it was not very big. But then again, we look at the maps and how the world has changed, where the continents have been divided and blah blah blah, that they used to be all together. I mean, is this what we're talking about, when the continents were basically all together? When it was
that's way too far back. That's like bajillions of years. That's like dinosaur era.
Okay.
You're talking. You're referring to Pangea. No. Yeah. This is going to be. Yeah, that's. If you believe that theory. There's some people, like our colleague Jason McLean, who don't believe that theory because he believes the Earth is only 3,000 years old. Those Bible thumpers, please. Those Bible thumpers, yeah. Anyway, yeah, they're cute sometimes. Those Bible thumpers,
cute sometimes.
Well, I don't even hold that against them per se. I mean, they're literally taking it literally, and I really believe it's all figurative. So
it's kind of like speaking in a foreign language, but yet it's like some of it's English, some of it's not. So you're not getting exactly the whole gist of what they're saying. So it's like some of it has been lost in translation, I think.
But right now, not so woo, right? I mean, it's fascinating, the idea that there could have been an island empire out there that's saying.
Right.
It's fascinating from a historical perspective, but not that woo.
Well, and quite frankly, it happened on a smaller scale at one point too, with the Minoans.
Yep, so they kind of just disappeared out of nowhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, some people could say, the whole Noah and Noah's Ark. They're finding evidence of that all the time, but people couldn't wrap their head around that. That a man put all of the animals, 2 by 2 on an ark.
There are some people in esoteric circles that actually go even further than that, and they say that they claim that Noah was actually an Atlantean, and the whole story of Noah's Ark was actually the story of an Atlantean refugee. Now,
I've never heard that. That's interesting.
Yeah, it is.
I've never heard that.
The Mesoamerican version of the Noah's Ark story, because every culture has their own story, like version of the story. Like in Hindu mythology, they have the Noah's Ark story. Greek mythology, Mesoamerican, Mayans and Aztecs. A lot of these cultures, even in like Korean and Chinese culture, like a lot of these mythologies, they all have the Great Flood story. Native Americans, it's everywhere, right?
Yeah,
right.
I believe in one of the Mesoamerican cultures, they had a story of the flood where it was the same thing, right? Where the world was so wicked that the gods or God decided to flood everything out. And there was one righteous man who was their version of Noah, who got on the ark at the behest of the God's commands. But the difference is he didn't get 2 of every animal. He got 2 of every domesticated animal for husbandry, for agriculture. So it wasn't like he had like 2 giraffes and 2 hippos. It was 2 of every animal that you would use for agriculture. 2 pigs, 2 oxen, chickens, in order to preserve animal husbandry and agriculture. And he didn't just bring just 2 of those animals, but he also brought seeds for farming as kind of like a, I don't know, a preservation method.
Yeah.
That version of the story is actually, to me, more plausible than the biblical, like the standard biblical narrative where he was like literally 2 of every animal. Every
Except
animal.
for the unicorns. Just remember that. Unicorns passed away at that point.
That actually makes more sense, though, that he would have 2 of every domesticated husbandry animal for the sake of maintaining agriculture.
Yeah, just for basically breeding purposes. Yes.
Right.
Your working food animals.
Right. So if we follow the esoteric narrative of Noah's Ark from the perspective of him being an Atlantean or an Atlantean refugee, bringing all these animals who are domesticated, he leaves Atlantis, which we've established is somewhere obviously in the Atlantic Ocean outside the Straits of Gibraltar, right? Like Plato established. And his route, his refugee route, which the Bible also kind of establishes, was through the Straits of Gibraltar, right? Down the Mediterranean Sea, and he finally lands in what everyone can agree is Turkey.
Okay. Which is a long way in, actually, after you get through there. So
a long way in.
Yeah.
Now, what do we understand is in Turkey from around that time? Göbekli Tepe, baby. Göbekli Tepe. Now, Göbekli Tepe, as you all recall, was discovered to be what? 12,000 years old?
At least.
Way older than the Sumerians by a long shot?
Yeah, at least,
Okay. The other thing that they find out about Göbekli Tepe is it's got all these carvings and reliefs, but there's no living structures at all. There's no settlement at all. Whatever Göbekli Tepe was, and again, it also was intentionally buried, but whatever it was, this was no settlement or city. This was a gathering place. What people like Randall Carlson and Graham Hancock, what they propose is that various people from around the world would converge on Göbekli Tepe, learn stuff like agriculture and husbandry, go back out to their native lands, and spread civilization.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
The last bastions of the
spread their civilization. Yeah.
Right.
Well, and that's just like every other empire throughout history, you know.
Right.
Same thing.
That's why we see commonalities with a lot of these Native American tribes, a lot of these Mesoamerican tribes, or peoples or civilizations. It's just the knowledge of agriculture spread all at once.
Yeah.
Most archaeologists and historians can't explain why. But a lot of these people in these little esoteric worlds, when they talk about Atlantis and the Noah narrative and the Younger Dryas, that's a narrative that starts to come out. That there were a number of refugees when Atlantis sank that escaped out into what is Turkey, started a settlement there. Because Turkey, the Middle East, that's a good central spot. That's kind of like equidistant from a lot of
It's in that
so people would gather there. According to some, they say that the ancient Egyptians were the direct descendants of the Atlanteans. That ancient Egyptian as a society started from a group of Atlantean refugees. So this is the OG of the OGs.
Yeah.
Let me read to you. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, well, I've seen like different articles and things like that where they were talking about, the flood in the 40 days and blah, 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 that the whole world didn't flood. That it was only a specific part.
Yeah.
And that makes me wonder if they're talking about Atlantis without saying Atlantis.
Right.
They
would have used different words anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Because they're the scientists are saying, because like I said, the Noah's Ark thing, they're finding more and more evidence that is pointing to this is in fact real, and that it, that some of the ark still exists, and all of this kind of stuff. Maybe that's what they were saying, is that the whole world didn't flood, just that area, and it's Atlantis.
And
without
think about
saying
it too. Where is all this the remnants of Noah's Ark at? Mount Ararat, which the side it's on is where? Turkey.
Right.
So
yeah, so that everything that Donnie's
feasible.
saying is just kind of like falling right into actual things that they're finding as evidence. So that's interesting. Okay.
Let's crank up the woo though. Let's bring a little bit of Edgar Casey in here.
Okay.
Let's see what he's got to say.
Okay.
He might be woo, but I like him.
Okay. So when they asked him where Atlantis was, this is what he says. The position as the continent Atlantis occupied is that as between the Gulf of Mexico on the one hand and the Mediterranean upon the other. Evidences of this lost civilization are to be found in the Pyrenees and Morocco on the one hand, British Honduras, Yucatan, and America upon the other. There are some protruding portions within this that must have at one time or another been a portion of this great continent. The British West Indies or the Bahamas, and a portion of the same that may be seen in the present. Basically, what Edgar Casey is saying is that Atlantis spanned from the Gulf of Mexico and Bahamas all the way to the Mediterranean.
Yeah. Now, see, this is where I have that issue, and we talked about this. Now, it might not have spanned per se, but then we're talking about. Yeah, I saw it starting to glitch on me again there. We were talking about the Bimini Road,
right? Yeah. So Bimini Road.
Hey, are we talking about something that actually did make it a land? I shouldn't say a land bridge, but some sort of bridge or road that they were able to create that actually did take them across.
Right. Here's a picture of it, by the way. I'm glad you mentioned that, Randy, because one of the big predictions that Edgar Casey is known for, they asked him, when will the world find out about Atlantis? When will people start to accept the existence of Atlantis? He said the first sign of Atlantis that people are going to remember, this is in the 30s. Okay. He said the first sign of Atlantis is going to appear in like 1960 something. And a piece of it's going to rise up from the ocean floor in the Bahamas. At the exact same time, what gets discovered, like Randy mentioned, Bimini Road. Discovered in the 60s in the Bahamas. Although I wouldn't say that was like the center of Atlantis, but that was like an evidence of the empire that is Atlantis that stretched all the way out there.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah. I mean, it's too, they can tell that it was man-made.
Right.
So, there are those things, that road still freaks me out because I'm like, well, where did it go? Because what couldn't they not follow it to find something else? I mean, that was my whole problem with it. They only followed it so far, and then that was it.
Right.
They didn't look for any more. Is it because it's too deep in the ocean to find it, or
it's hard to do archaeology and like underwater like that. It's really tough. I mean, the budget alone, it's not like you can have like regular archaeologists go out, do a dig, logistically, it's like very difficult.
Yeah, I always have a hard time with this, and I'll tell you why. Because we can send stuff to Mars, but we can't get under our own ocean. I just have a problem. I'm just saying. I mean, because they're looking for other life forms and things like that. But
yeah, we could send drones there. We could send drones, water drones. Why can't we?
I mean, we could figure out how to pressurize them. We could figure this stuff out. Like I said, if we can send drones to Mars, why can't we put them under our ocean?
I'm not going in no. I'm not going in no submersible though. Remember what happened to those dudes?
Well, I'm not even saying that. I'm talking about drones, perhaps. Why can we not get them to? I guess pressurize them enough where they can get to those depths, because like I said, they're going to Mars. Why can't we get them to the bottom of our ocean? Because everything that we're looking for everywhere else is probably already here on Earth. Right. They just don't realize it.
Well, Edgar Casey says we have the records of like all of Atlantis's records are out there waiting to be discovered.
Mm-hmm.
He said there's one hall of records underneath the Sphinx, which is yet to be discovered. There's one in like the Yucatan, and I don't remember where he said the other one was. I think he said it was like in the Bahamas. But there's hidden chambers, hidden sites that have all the records of all the Atlanteans that's waiting to be discovered, but none of us have discovered it yet. Some people have even postulated that the whole what's that one island that everyone's trying to dig at for that treasure again? What they got the show about?
Oak Island.
Oak Island. Yeah, some people think that the thing that they're digging for in Oak Island is actually the Atlantean records. That's one theory.
Yeah, but see, to me, that seems
I don't know. That I don't know, because they're connecting a lot of that to civilizations, but not necessarily that. The Crusaders, they're finding all kinds of things that are leading to that. This was not just they got there, dug the hole, and buried it. Mm-hmm. It was done over time, and different groups would come in, different countries, and help and dig and do all kinds of stuff. It just wasn't like the oh gosh, I'm trying to think of the name right now. I watch the show all the time too. I watch
The Curse of Oak Island.
It just seems like there was a lot involved. Now they're even thinking maybe somewhere along the line that they could find even like deep treasures. Like the Ark of the Covenant, and all kinds of stuff could be buried due to the amount of people and who went over there.
Right.
I'm trying to because you're talking about the Templars are going over there and all of this other kind of stuff, and we know that they held treasures that were just so fantastic, but where did they go? Where did they go? So
no idea.
Yeah, so they're looking that the Knights Templar have been on that island. They're finding they found remnants of them being there, such as a lead cross that would be that has been carved into many buildings that the Knights of Templar have been. It's the same thing. So I mean, I don't know if it has any secrets of Atlantis in it, but I know it probably has some very old secrets in there somewhere, if it hasn't been destroyed.
Now, I'm hearing mention in the chat, quite a few people in chat are mentioning the Eye of the Sahara. Brandi, have you heard of the Eye of the Sahara?
Very rare. Now, this is a topic I hear of very rarely, though. Yes.
Okay. I'll show you a picture of it. That's what it looks like. It's in Mauritania. This is the view from space, and this is where it is on the map. The black arrow.
Smack dab in the middle of the area.
Yeah. So if you look at towards the top left corner of the map, the little area where the two bits of land touch, that's the Strait of Gibraltar.
Yep.
So according to Plato's theory, where it's just outside the Strait of Gibraltar, it's really more outside the Strait of Gibraltar and south. Now, during pre-Younger Dryas period, it is believed that this portion of Africa was largely underwater.
Yeah, I can see that.
The reason why a lot of people point to, so this is kind of like a runoff. So the ocean would have extended into that circular structure, which is the Richat structure, which they call the Eye of the Sahara, which they believe is the island of Atlantis. I first heard about that theory with Mr. Balin. Oh, look who decided to join us. Ta-da!
Tex, hey, what's going on? We're talking about Atlantis.
Atlantis.
I know. I was listening to y'all, and y'all were talking about Mars and Atlantis and going underwater and why we can't go there instead of there. And like, okay, here I come. So, all right. So there is a reason that we can go there and we can't go to the depths. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
When you hit outer space, you're in a vacuum. Okay. And that's all you have to account for. Okay?
Right.
The deeper you go, the more pressure you deal with. It's a constant changing thing. Okay. And it's a lot more to get around. And hey, look, Randy looks like Bigfoot. He's blurry.
I know.
Exactly. Yeah. Been doing it all night tonight.
He's doing his Bigfoot impression.
You know what? Y'all just gonna have to look at my clutter behind me here. Hang on.
So that's the reason that we can't send manned stuff. We're just now getting to the point to where we can send unmanned stuff to the bottom. There have been manned stuff sent very, very deep.
Mm-hmm.
But don't let them fool you. We haven't hit the bottom yet.
Right. Well, because I mean, they're coming across all those species of fish that we haven't ever seen before, and they can only live. They're the only ones that can live down there. But my point on that,
there's whole ecosystems that live around the in those depths for one, and then around the volcanic tubes. And it's a whole ecosystem. If you take them out of the ecosystem, they die. Right. And another problem is we can't bring samples up because once they hit they're so pressurized. It's the same. You can pull a fish. If you catch a fish at a depth of 70, 80 feet and you pull him up too quick, his tongue will be sticking out or his bladder will be sticking out because he literally gets the bends.
Yeah.
Right.
So there is science in there that we can't overcome yet. Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's my gripe right there. Is because we're spending billions of dollars to go into space, but yet we're not even getting near that for our own ocean. I don't know.
Well, the bottom line is we know more about our moon and other planets than we do our own ocean floors.
Absolutely.
But there is a reason for that, and it's the science that we can't overcome. And that tells you right there that as advanced as we are and as arrogant as we are about, we're humans, we're awesome and all that kind of stuff. There's nothing we can't overcome. Mother Nature's always going to win.
True.
Okay.
True.
That's just how it's going to happen. All right. Because there's stuff that we cannot. And I've had this conversation. There's stuff that we cannot do that Mother Nature does. We do not have anything that can replicate the flight of a bird.
You are exactly correct. I didn't even think that. Yeah, but
that's
you're right. Right.
We can glide. But we have, we can make something that moves like a bird that flies, but it doesn't have the maneuverability of a bird. Now we can have something. We've got drones that have the maneuverability pretty close to a bird, but they're not using the same biomechanics as a bird. So we can't replicate that. There's a lot of things in nature that we cannot replicate, but we think we can. We think we're badass, but we're not.
True. I'm sorry, I'm coughing.
So a lot of times when you see these movies and they're talking about, it's a spaceship, it's airtight, it's watertight. Oh, well, yeah, but to what depth? Because it's not made to withstand those pressures. If you sent the one of the capsules, say from that we launched our astronauts in. If you sent the space shuttle, crashed it into the ocean, or not crashed it, sent it down to the ocean, it's gonna crush like a beer can.
Yeah,
it's not made up, withstand those pressures. We don't have anything that's manned that can withstand those pressures.
right. There's a reason why we've sent so many rovers to Mars, but we haven't sent any to Venus, even though technically Venus is closer at certain points.
Yeah,
it's because of the pressures. It's just too ridiculous.
Yeah, the atmospheric pressures on that, and you talk about even the cold side of it, of Venus alone. You might as well be sending something to challenge your deep.
Right.
Yeah.
There's only one man who can conquer that land, James Cameron.
Exactly.
James Cameron.
Well, he's just the last one that did it. That's all.
Well, that kind of makes you rethink that, that people are saying, that they had got this alien technology and blah, blah, this and blah, blah, that. I don't think we got a whole lot. You know what I mean? I mean, we got some, it sounds like, but it doesn't sound like we got everything. Like we got just a taste of what their technology could and would be like. I
found out a bit about that.
If we had that, I think we'd be able to go anywhere.
Actually, I've got a special treat prepared for you guys. I've got the quote or the words of an actual interdimensional being and what it says about Atlantis.
Is it time? Is that what you're telling me?
Is it time?
No, I mean, I'm serious. I'm serious, guys.
No, but is it time? Is it time, Donnie? It's time.
Oh.
All right, Randy, it's time. Just go.
It's time.
Donnie Cho, meme of the week.
Okay, guys, I wasn't going to go there, but I guess I'll share my meme of the week.
Well, yeah, it's that time.
So, guys, as we all are aware, our world is secretly being run by the nefarious forces known as the Illuminati, who secretly hold the seat of power in our politics and government. The Illuminati, their influence knows no limits. They affect our lives in deep and profound ways, and they watch over us, and we must be aware, for the Illuminati is everywhere. Now, the Illuminati, as we all know, their main symbol is the all-seeing eye, that little eye in the pyramid on the dollar bill, yo. You know why it's on the dollar bill? Because George Washington. That's right. George Washington. Is there a connection? I'll let you decide. Now, the all-seeing eye, if you are not paying attention, you won't notice its gaze upon you, but in actuality, it is everywhere. Let me show you one example, one instance where the all-seeing eye has made an appearance. The all-seeing eye can appear everywhere and anywhere. And I do mean anywhere.
Is that Tex?
Oh.
This was just
an eyeball for real.
This was just a simple photo
of a belly button.
They weren't trying to do anything crazy. It was just a simple photo taken at a subway. But then one intrepid person out there on the internet noticed the gaze of the all-seeing eye.
Okay, I'm trying to say this correctly, politically correct. I thought your third eye should have been here.
Oh yeah, that's the pineal gland. Yeah, that's the third eye. This is the all-seeing eye. This is
everybody's right.
No, this is the Illuminati making itself known.
So instead of the what did you say gland it was?
The pineal gland?
Pineal.
Maybe instead of the pineal gland, it's the pineal gland.
Yep.
Bleep.
Okay, I'm sorry, everybody. I should not have hit the button to bring that up. Okay, I should not have hit it to bring it. I apologize. It's all on me.
Oh, I had to stop and choke, y'all. Woo!
At least it wasn't. At least it wasn't K-pop. Okay, so we're good.
Don't tempt me, Randy. Don't tempt me.
Next week.
Okay.
Well, I
anyway,
can't have
people.
Donnie in the same room as my youngest daughter anymore because they want to listen to K-pop and talk K-pop. They get over in their little, they get over in a little corner by themselves and they have this little K-pop conversation.
Don't need to know.
That's the truth. Yeah.
Can't help them. Just can't help them.
Don't worry, Randy. I've already changed Jason's life with K-pop. Your turn will be coming next. Don't worry.
Oh my goodness.
You stand a better chance on getting me to watch AEW religiously. Okay.
Oh wow. Okay. But then them's fighting words.
All
Anyway,
right,
I've been seeing a lot of questions about the reshot structure. Just know that one of the main reasons why is because of the location, its vicinity to the ocean, the knowledge that they did know that part of Sahara at the time of the Younger Dryas was underwater. And a lot of the descriptions, to the north, there's a mountain region that's often just that people point to because apparently Plato described the Atlantis main island as concentric circles, like it's looking like here, all separated by canals. And to the north, there's a mountain range known as, get this, the Atlas Mountains.
Oh, that kind of figures. But Tex, does that not look like a fossil to you?
Yeah, that's what I was asking. The Nautilus, right?
Yeah, the Amalettes. Yeah,
yeah, Amalette.
Yeah, which is strange. It was a living organism, which is strange.
Now I've got a special treat now because so far we've talked about what humans have said about Atlantis, but what could there be actual words from an interdimensional being actually giving us actual quotes about the island of Atlantis? Because I found them.
I was going to say, Donnie, if anyone would know, you would.
Remember, this quote I'm about to read for you, it's a bit wordy, just as a FYI, heads up. But just keep in mind, these are the words of a non-human entity, an actual seventh density being that was channeled in the law of one. Seventh density. We're only 3 densities. That's like 4 extra densities there, guys.
So hey, you ready for this? Yourself dense all you want. I ain't dense, all right?
So this thing is called, this thing was known as Ra, R-A. And it was speaking through this lady channeler back in the 80s. And this is what it had to say about Atlantis. Okay. So, the Atlantean race and all the stupid little things are blocking my view, was a very conglomerate social complex, which began to form approximately 39,000. Okay, guys. This thing did not have the best command of the English language. This thing communicates with its mind, okay? So it had to use words and caveman mouth talk. So it didn't. Don't judge it, guys, okay?
Maybe
this is an interdimensional being having to speak English for the first time. There was a language
barrier.
It was a bit of a struggle, okay? So 31,000 years in the past of your space-time continuum illusion, which is basically your reality or your timeline. It was a very slow-growing and very agrarian society until approximately 15,000 of your years ago. It reached quickly a high technological understanding, which caused it to be able to use intelligent infinity in a less informative manner. Basically, it's spiritual juice. Basically using spiritual energy and using it as an actual energy source, which according to Ra was manifest through crystal technology.
Okay.
We may add that they use intelligent energy as well, manipulating greatly the natural influxes of the indigo or the pineal ray from divine or infinite energy. Thus, they were able to create life forms. Yo, we can't create life forms? What's up with that?
Mm-hmm.
Our technology is lame. We can only create AI, but that's stupid. They're not even soft or squishy or nothing.
No.
This they began to do instead of healing and perfecting their own mind, body, spirit complexes. That's basically another way of just their own lives. Turning their distortions towards what you may call the negative. Basically, what he's saying is the Atlantean race for a long, big chunk of their history was just an agrarian society until they mastered spiritual technology. And through the use of spiritual technology, they reached all these heights. Basically, what it's explaining is this. Imagine if there was no such thing as the veil. Meaning, right? Like ghosts, UFOs, cryptids, psychic phenomena, that was all just a given. Imagine if we lived in a society where in kindergarten, where they teach kids how to read or basic arithmetic, they also teach kids like how to hone their psychic skills.
Mm-hmm.
And ghosts and beings were just an everyday part of life. That's how Atlantis was described as, where there was no veil, and they used the fact that there was no veil to their advantage technologically.
Right. You know, I see. This is my thing. I love the part where it said crystal energies. Now everybody knows that I'm a big crystal fan. That I believe they do have some properties that help us.
Back up. You need to rephrase that.
Crystal fan? Oh yeah, you gotta say that differently. Someone could soundbite that. It could sound real bad.
Crystal therapy that could help us. You know what I mean? Crystal therapy.
Chakras.
The chakras, the whole 9 yards. And I understand that. And I do believe that crystals have their own vibrations. Of course, they come from the earth. I think that all of earth has its own certain vibrations. I mean, but people don't believe that. They'll say, you're crazy. Crystals don't do anything. But yet you can believe in Wi-Fi and that waves can send Wi-Fi, without wires to your phone, to your TV, to your computer, but they don't believe in the vibrations of crystals. I'm just saying that because, now that we're talking about,
maximum woo. We're getting towards maximum
woo. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, because they said, I'm glad they said that. I'm glad you brought that up, Donnie, because that just proves my point. That ancient
I find the idea compelling, where there was at one point in human history or civilization where everyone figured out psychic abilities. Everyone knew that ghosts and spirits were real. There was no veil, and that was just a regular part of life.
Right.
And that informed their technology and their society. That's like, see, we're so used to living with this veil, where the majority of society is all skeptical towards what we understand is real, that it's so hard to imagine. What if everyone, like 100% of the people, just understood that these things were real and that psychic abilities were being taught in like grade school to kids?
Right. And Tex and I have talked about it, that we believe that everybody has some type of ability. It's just whether they use it or not, or hone that ability.
Yeah. When you were actually reading that quote, what would have happened? And you were talking about tapping into spiritual energy and all this kind of stuff. I have to wonder what would have happened if, instead of being paranoid and everything and calling everybody a witch just because they had a certain ability, what would have happened if we would have embraced it? Where would we be now with that kind of stuff? Would that be open to us by now?
Tex, I don't think we'd live in the negative society we live in now.
Yeah.
I think the things that we're talking about right now wouldn't be called woo.
Yeah.
We would just be a normal everyday talk show.
It's hard to even imagine what a world like that even looks like.
Well, we would I think we would be more advanced than we are.
Right.
Because I think we would have opened more avenues to us a long time ago without being scared of it.
I think a lot of these issues and things that we talk about Bigfoot and aliens and the Fae, and we wouldn't even be talking about them because they would be normalized in our society.
Right. And this is all positive stuff, but you have to take the good with the bad.
Sure.
It talks
So I
about
think
that.
we would also be more aware of what is truly out there as far as the negative stuff and the positive stuff goes.
There would always be something, no matter what. You know, you can't do the good without the bad.
Off subject, real quick, Brandy, you may have the answer to this. I do not know. If not, we can get back to the folks. A lot of people are asking what hotel we're staying in at the conference.
It's the Super 8 in Richmond.
There you go, folks.
Super 8 in Richmond, Missouri. There's also a nearby hotel called the Lexi Inn, which is fairly close. It's not very far at all, just a few miles. So you could stay at the Lexi Inn, which is, either or. Yeah,
But
and they have a lot of rooms.
We're all staying at the Super 8.
We're staying at the Super 8, yes.
There you go. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I don't know how many rooms that they have, but I knew they had some. So if you need a hotel, I suggest you book them ASAP and get them all squared away. And when you get your tickets, I haven't talked to Krista today to find out what our ticket stance is at right now. The ghost hunt is almost sold out. We have plenty of tickets right now for the conference. And like I said, I don't know where the other tickets are standing, but then the meet and greet Friday night, well, I'm guessing that's a free for all, everybody. We'll have plenty of room for that.
We'll all be there. It's going to be a party. Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to have all these people. Some of these people that on the ghost hunt that's never been on a ghost hunt before.
Right.
So
plus our whole crew ghost hunting together. That would be an experience just in and of itself. Yeah.
And that's definitely something I'm have to video.
Yeah. Could you imagine me and Randy ghost hunting together? That's a whole TV show right there.
Randy's very good. You just gotta leave him alone. He's very good at what he does. You leave him alone.
That's one of those. I don't want to have to loop you in with he who must not be named and start chunking you around a area in there or something. So just
right.
Oh no, no, I'm good. I mean, I've got
you and me both. I mean, we would have fun doing it. Honestly, now we've talked on the side before. I think me and Donnie, if we threw Brandi in with us too, Tex he repels everything. Leave him off to the side, okay?
No. He's very good at finding occult activity. He's very good at that. He's very good at that.
I hate to say it like it because I mean, just what we've talked about off on the side, though, us three together on an actual investigation, we'd be. On people for a lot of it because I'm going at it full blown scientific. She's going at it with her little bit of her more sensitive kind of side, and then you come in with every other thing and bring in the Korea mumbo jumbo and away we go and away. Hey, we're gonna make some. Hey, somebody go get the guy from Monster Quest. We got a new show idea right now.
Yeah. Think about it. BMR will be there. Monica will be there. Jason will be there. Krista, everyone. It's going to be a
Pops is going to be there.
Pops is going to be there?
Yep. Pops is going to be
on
there.
The ghost hunt?
Well, he's not. He won't go on the ghost hunt, but he'll
be at the
but he's
going to be at the conference and everything. Yes.
The thing about it is, this is the first time that Danielle's going to be there. This is the first time that everybody in the Island of Misfit Toys is going to be there.
Yeah.
Right.
Those ghosts won't know what hit them. They'll be like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
Who are these people?
I know. And Gary Spikes is putting up the link for the conference there. You can go there. We do have vendor spaces available. If you're looking to be a vendor, you sure can. We have plenty of spots for that. We've actually opened up even more spots that are going to be available. So, like I said, if you're a vendor, you're more than welcome. We don't care what you sell as long as, it doesn't scare the kids. Just saying.
So,
it doesn't scare the kids.
Lavera Lakini, thank you for the $5 super chat, asks, please, Tex, give a better explanation of your statement, quote unquote, more advanced. Our technology, as we have been told, is 200 years. Wait, our technology, as we have been told, is 202 in 100 years? Thanks.
I think we would be more spiritually advanced.
That's what I'm thinking.
If we hadn't stuck our head in the sand and killed everybody that talked a little bit different,
Yeah.
Burned them at the stake or what have you.
Yeah.
Scientific advances would have happened a lot sooner.
Yeah.
Well, the way the raw material describes it, it's almost as if it's saying that the spiritual knowledge that the Atlanteans had, or the knowledge they had because there was no veil, they were able to utilize some form of power source. We still rely on fossil fuels. They relied on some kind of what it was described here in this text as a kind of intelligent energy that was spiritually based, but where we use like a dumb energy because it's basically we just burn fossil fuels to power all of our machinery. The Atlanteans had an understanding of energy that was intertwined with their knowledge of spirituality, which is something that we're not even close to achieving. So
what Donnie said.
Yeah, what Donnie said. It's a lot to think about because, like I said, I personally think that it was a real place, that it did exist. I don't know if it's this all-powerful thing that everybody has made it to be. I'm not sure. That's where I get a little lost because there's too many theories out there for me to really know the truth on that. But have I heard of like earthquakes happening or volcanoes erupting, which wipe out total civilizations? Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, and there it is again. Even with supposedly their advancements, Mother Nature won.
According to the raw material, it basically stated, it goes further. There's another quote, but I'm going to leave that out. I had this whole other thing here. But basically, it states that it wasn't the Younger Dryas event that caused Atlantis to go underwater. It was the actual misuse of that technology. Like there were certain people eventually became complacent and corrupt, and they were using that spiritually based technology for their own selfish means. And eventually they started clashing with other members of the Atlantean society who were opposed to a lot of their ways. And it led to a great civil war, which ultimately led to a series of events, which led to the catastrophe of Atlantis sinking under the ocean. How that actually played out, I have no clue, because the text does not give specific details, but that's what is said.
So no matter how advanced they weren't even above civil war.
Right. There were certain corrupt elements within their society that started abusing that technology. So
there's always a bad apple in the bunch.
Yep.
Okay. So
Ace Banner says
this is kind of.
Hold on. It's also possible that since Atlantis reached spiritual tech, they could have ascended to the fourth dimension. That is why it looks like it was destroyed. I have heard that theory thrown around as well, that they evolved spiritually and basically left their bodies in this plane of reality. But then some of their members actually, according to Edgar Casey, incarnated here in America in modern day. And some of us here and some of y'all listening at home might be the incarnated souls of some former Atlanteans.
Well, you got to think of it this way, too. When you pick up and move, and you move quickly, there are things that are going to be left behind.
Right.
So maybe that the things that they're finding, like I said, the pottery, the jewelry, these remnants that they're finding, maybe that's just what was left over. They left in a hurry. But then again, if you, I don't want to really get into this, but I'm going to. But it reminds me of the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, where they got out of hand,
right,
and they were taken care of. You know what I mean? So, and then you were saying that the people of Atlantis were abusing the power and blah 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 blah, whatever they were doing.
Yeah,
maybe they got out of hand and they were taken care of. I mean, that's possible too.
Yep.
I don't know. That's really what you were saying, Donnie. That's what it reminds me of. It sounds like, a civilization that if they would have stayed on the path, they would have been fantastic. They would have been, still here. Everything would have been a lot different than the society we know today. But I think maybe they got out of hand, and that was it. That was why there was nothing left, really.
Right. They started abusing their technology. Very much like the same way we do. We abuse our technology.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Everybody's walking around with the phone in their hand. They don't know how to talk to each other
anymore. I'm a notorious technology abuser.
I'm terrible. Yeah, I am terrible. Without my phone, I am lost. I'll go to work, and if I forget my phone, I will turn around, go home and get it. But I do remember a time where we didn't worry about that. The phone was connected to the wall in our house. When we left for work, we didn't get back to that phone until we got back home from work. You know what I mean?
Remember back in the 80s when you would look at Sears catalogs and they would show you like a Watchman? Remember those, like those portable TVs where you would think, oh man, if I had one of those things, that looks so cool. A little TV that fits in your pocket. Do you remember those?
That you could never tune in because the daggone thing was on a radio dial.
Yeah, it had like those antenna, and you see that in the Sears catalog, and you'd be like, could you imagine having a TV that fits in the palm of your hands? I mean, as a kid, that blew my mind, right? And I was like, wait, what if? But nowadays, if you were to tell that person about these smartphones, they would barely even believe you. But now that we got them, it's like, is our lives better? I mean,
are they really? I mean, but really, I've given up my TV for my phone and my tablet and all that stuff because I watch most of my stuff. I don't even watch TV anymore. Really, I watch all of my stuff on YouTube and other places to watch documentaries, movies, whatever. I don't even watch TV anymore. So, I mean, I really am giving up one piece of technology for another.
Well, I mean, I don't even watch. I don't even watch TV. I don't even watch YouTube. Honestly, I literally just watch episodes of Donnie Chose stuff on repeat.
Donnie Chose.
It's the best show, guys.
Doesn't surprise me in the least.
It's the best show.
Yeah, but everybody stay tuned because you never know what the next movie is we're gonna watch.
But if you see the view counts on my episodes, they're like they range between like 150, 250. I guarantee you 90 of those views are for me.
Well, I sent you and I sent everybody a text of what movie we need to watch.
Oh, I've already decided the movie. I think it might be the same one.
Yeah, because if you haven't heard, we had a great time with our little panel, and we watched a movie with everybody, and we had our snacks, and we stopped the movie. We talked about it. What is that show that used to be on, Randy?
I'm trying to figure out where Tex sent this, so I don't see nothing. So,
I see it. The wrestling women.
Oh, is that the one you wanted to watch?
Yeah.
The wrestling women versus the Aztec. The Aztec mummy. That'd be a cool.
That's not going to work for me, y'all. It's not going to work for me.
What show we talk about?
Okay, I just group texted the actual movie that I chose. If you guys want to take a look.
Okay.
No, it was. By the way, what was that? What was that show, Randy? That we were talking about? That we were like because we were talking and eating snacks for the movie the whole time. The
Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Yeah, there it was. There it is.
Yeah.
Except it's Donnie Cho 3000.
Yeah.
And under back in you had Mystery Science Theater 3000. Then you had the Elvira the movie Macabre, where she'd do the same thing, and it was always the cheesy horror films, So you're like, you could watch Elvira do it, or you could watch the dude in the silhouette with the little robot or whatever else he had there with him, and you're like, yeah, but they're still all cool movies. This one's going to be sci-fi, and this one's going to be horror. That whole concept has just disappeared.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I'm watching Elvira
Right.
every time. Every time I'm watching Elvira.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Just
all the
like
time.
Right. Yeah, she had such cute commentary in the commercial area.
I remember. Yeah.
She had a lot of good one-liners.
I remember Elvira having just very big hair.
Yes.
That too.
Big hairstyles. It was very large.
Yes, absolutely. And lots of makeup. Yes.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about anything else.
And say, oh my gosh, she's 72
We're just not going to talk about
now.
anything else. She just had big hair and lots of makeup.
She had those really big round eyes.
Yes.
Very
Well,
big
anyway,
eyes.
I
Well, anyway.
Anywho, wait, here you go.
Oh, little Patty's like, yeah, right, Donnie. Yeah, we know him. You got him pegged correctly. But I want to talk a little bit, just a hair, about the Blondes and Boo show tomorrow.
Okay.
We have the amazing Dave Schrader is going to be on tomorrow night.
Ooh.
And let me tell you that he has his own podcast. It's called Paranormal 360.
Yes.
Paranormal 60. That's what it is. Paranormal 60.
Okay.
Right. But he is, of course, a TV personality. He's done lots of shows on the Travel Channel with Shane Pittman and Sarah Lamos. And Cindy Kaza. This is the paranormal OG that we're going to be talking to tomorrow night. And I am super, super excited. So make sure you turn on your notification bell if you haven't already. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe now to Blondes and Boos. That way, you'll be able to get there and chat with all of us. Because I'm telling you what, this is going to be a fantastic show tomorrow night. And I'm really looking forward to it because he's a hard man to nail down. So make sure you tune in tomorrow night. And I know Randy and I on Sunday with Truth or Tinfoil are going to do another Red Circle Sunday because we didn't even get through half of what we wanted.
What we were going to make fun of once we started looking at it, I shouldn't say make fun of, but we were going to say, hey, Red Circle. We started looking at it like, wait a second, hold up, time out.
We did.
Yeah.
We were like,
we did an abrupt pause on a couple of them.
We're like, wait a minute. This is a red circle, but this might be a legit circle.
Yeah. And one case it was an arrow, but still.
It was an arrow, but it was okay. What you doing this Saturday, Donnie?
I'm going to get Jason on. Jason's going to try to talk really intellectual stuff, and I'm going to counter that by saying outlandishly stupid stuff, followed up with a lot of swear words. That's so
in other words,
typical show. It's a typical Donnie. Typical Donnie show. All right.
Jason's intellect will be bounced out by my stupidity.
Yeah, there you go.
Kind of yin and yang.
Right. Yes. All right, Tex, what you got going on this week or this next week, Monday?
Oh, you know what? That's a good question.
I know. I think you should tell me now so I know. That's why I'm asking. Maybe.
There is a calendar out there,
I know.
Oh, you have
I gave y'all access to all of it. Y'all can't figure it out on your own. It's on you.
I never know. I look at the calendar, but it only beeps for the stuff I need to do personally.
Well, I send it to everybody.
Well, I know it's out there. That doesn't mean I always look at it.
Does that mean I have to go look up the daggum calendar for you?
No, Tex is looking it up right now. I can see it in his glasses. I can see it in his glasses. I don't know, but I am super excited about the conference. I am still confused about Atlantis. I don't know if it's on dry land, if it's buried, if it's underwater.
Or in another dimension.
No idea. In another dimension. They could have just picked it up and moved the whole thing deeper into the ocean so it can't be found. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, maybe it wasn't an island per se. Maybe it was a structure, like a drilling rig or something. You know what? I mean, that type of thing.
That type. I get what you're saying. The idea.
Monday we have Mary Lynn Bast that's going to be on with us from Psychic Paranormal.
All right.
Paranormal.
That's not on my calendar.
Then
there's Randy. It's not on my calendar.
Not on my calendar. I don't see it.
Then the 23rd, we're going to kick your Christmas off really good. We're having Adam Davies and Greg Ogles on.
Oh, together? Oh, man.
Yeah. Adam Davies and oh my God.
Last time I saw those two together, a lot of crazy stuff happened.
No, I always get stuck with them. So I already know what it's going to be like. I always get stuck with them. I already know. I love them both. Love them both.
Way to go there, Troop Mom.
I remember the last time I was with the two of them together, an actual woodland elf showed up. And I was like, this is how you guys roll? Really? Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Right.
You remember, you were there, Tex, remember? The woodland elf.
Talk to the elf, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm assuming we're going to be talking about the documentary coming out, among other things. And that's Greg Ogles and Relic Films, his new documentary that's coming out. It is going to be premiering for us and everybody that's going to be at the theater that afternoon, that evening. It is going to be released everywhere else. We just get to see it first, which is going to be awesome. It's going to be a fantastic thing. Tickets are all sold out now. So if you had an idea about going to the premiere, too late. It's over. He announced it. I think it was last night or today. He announced it that all tickets were sold. So, but it is the, like I said, the documentary will be released that evening on January 4th. So you'll be able to get it that way.
There you go.
Oh, can I leave you guys with one final bonus meme that I've prepared about our topic Atlantis tonight before we
one final meme, Donnie, just because I like them.
Yes. Remember, family show.
Hey, Clark, Atlantis called. They want their crystal-based energy technology back. Because he's jacked all their crystals.
So now you're telling me that
stealing their technology.
The Atlanteans were Kryptonians?
Well, no, because they had their crystal energy, you know.
They did. It was all crystals. Don't you remember when he went back and all the crystals and they would come up and I forgot all about that, Donnie.
I call that industrial espionage. He was like the Chinese. He just stole their ideas.
Maybe he was an Atlantean.
Yeah.
And not from Krypton.
That means they were really bad. They're bad, bad people.
Bad.
Oh, my goodness. But don't forget to also watch BMR. He is going to be on tomorrow afternoon for his brunch with Tex and Brandi from Paranormal Portal. Friday night is Blondes and Boos. Saturday, of course, is Paranormal Paul. Then Donnie Cho. Sunday is Truth or Tinfoil. And then Texas Front Porch on Monday. And it all begins again, everybody.
Don't forget Monica. She's on tomorrow night as well.
Thursday night, 10 p.m. I always forget at 10 p.m. I always want to say that she's on Tuesday or Wednesday. I don't know why, but
we got to get back on track because I was out of town. We got the crime show we got to catch up on. We got Diva's Dimension we got to catch up on. We got Night Owl, we got to catch up on.
Wait. What's this we stuff, Kemosabe?
Because
You're
I
the
am
mouth of my-
in that we. You may not be you,
Uh-uh.
but I am
You're
in the
one
we.
of them for sure.
I am in the we.
But-
Yes, I am in the we.
Well, see,
But go ahead.
Randy don't know he's in the we until 5 minutes before the we happens.
Oh,
That's about usual.
That's usually true. Yeah, that's usually the case.
Hey, you supposed to be over here? What? When? When did y'all tell me?
Yeah.
right.
Just now.
Right.
Okay, gotcha.
Right. But like I said, we were on 7 days a week, everyone. So make sure you go to all the shows, turn on your notification bell, subscribe if you have not subscribed. And that helps us out a whole bunch. So don't forget that. Make sure you hit the thumbs up before you leave the show tonight. And I guess until next Wednesday, we'll see everybody later.
Bye.
Good night, everybody. Okay.
Oh, wait, we got to play the theme song. Don't forget the theme song again.
Button.
But